A sewing lesson from Sew New York. Today we're going to learn the overhand stitch and a variation of that, the whip stitch. Hi, I'm Laura McCracken and you're at Sew New York for a sewing lesson today. I'm going to teach you two stitches today. The first stitch we're going to talk about is the overhand stitch, and this is a stitch that is used to attach two finished edges together, for example a piece of lace or a piece of ribbon onto a garment, okay? And then the other stitch that we're going to look at is the whip stitch. And the whip stitch is a variation of the overhand stitch. This is a camisole that's in the process of being made, and we want to add the lace to the bottom here. And you use the whip stitch when you want to fasten two finished edges together, or in some cases an unfinished edge with the lace or a ribbon. So either one can work for similar reasons. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to demonstrate how to do the overhand stitch with this fabric, the brown and pink polka dot fabric, and we have a ribbon here. The ribbon is brown with pink polka dots on one side and pink with brown polka dots on the other. I'm going to choose the side with the pink polka dots to be my good side, and you're putting the good side of your fabric together with the good side of your ribbon, and you're going to attach the ribbon along the edge, and we're going to place a few pins to get it in place for the hand stitch. Okay, so now we have it pinned and I'm ready to show you the stitch. Now that the ribbon is all pinned on to the main fabric, the good sides are together, I'm going to demonstrate how to do the overhand stitch. I'm using a single thread, an all-purpose thread with a knot in the end. And the stitches for the overhand stitch, they're all very tiny and they're very evenly spaced apart, as well as their size. I'm going to bury the knot in between the ribbon and the fabric, so we won't see the knot on either side. And then just bury the knot below it if you need to. Okay, now I'm going to go directly behind that, where the thread that comes out of the ribbon, and go into the main fabric on a diagonal. And then I'm going to come out and just pick up a tiny little thread on the edge of the ribbon. And I'm going to keep the spacing the same between each stitch. Again, now directly behind the ribbon, go into the fabric on a diagonal and come out at the very edge of the ribbon, same spacing. I'll do a few stitches and then I'm going to show you what it looks like on the good side. You want to take your time. Sewing can be very zen and relaxing. You can take out the pins if you like as you go along if they're annoying you. So it's it's a diagonal stitch, but it all appears to be very straight and even. Nice and snug and tight. I'll do about 3 more and then we'll take a look at it. 1, 2, and 3. I'll take out this pin. And then you would want to do a knot at the end. I usually do a permanent knot. To learn the permanent knot, go to my website www.sewnewyork.com and click on videos and you'll find it. Okay, I'm going to cut this off And now we're going to take a look at the little portion of the overhand stitch that we did. So now here's the good side, and you see how it's totally, it looks like it's been sewn on. You'd never know that it was ever even unattached from that piece of fabric. It looks great. Okay, that's the overhand stitch. And next we're going to take a look at the whip stitch. Great. Here again is the blue camisole, and we're going to be adding the lace to the bottom of it. So I have it pinned on, so you'll see what it's going to look like when it's finished. The lace is going to go all around the bottom edge. Alright, that's how it's pinned on, just so you can get a view of this. Now I'm going to repin it with the good side of the lace to the good side of the lace this side to the good side of the camisole here. So I'm going to repin that and show that to you, and then I'll show you the whip stitch. So I've pinned the lace onto the blue camisole, and I've pinned the good side of the lace to the good side of the camisole. And what we're doing with this, we're doing the whip stitch, and a whip stitch is used to attach a ribbon or a lace to a finished edge. As you see here, this is the finished edge of the camisole, and they're pinned together, and then you would stitch it. And the whip stitch can be used to attach finished edges together, like in this manner, or it can be used to attach a finished edge to an unfinished edge or a flat surface. I'll show you the stitch. Alright, now we're going to look at the whip stitch. So I'm using a single thread, as I did in the last stitch, the overhand stitch. You always want to sew with single threads. Make sure not to work with a long thread. Keep the thread short. When you have long threads and you're doing handwork, the thread's only going to get twisted and knotted, and then you have to start all over. So for efficiency, always sew with short threads. I've buried the knot behind the lace, as I did in the first stitch. Okay, I'm going to go into the blue fabric. First of all, I want to have the thread going to my left, okay? And I'm going to go into the blue fabric and then straight down, not on a diagonal like the last stitch. The last stitch we worked on a diagonal and the stitch came out straight. With the whip stitch, you work on a straight stitch and the stitch comes out diagonal. You want to do the same thing, keep the stitches really tiny. So go into the blue fabric. I'm sorry, make sure your thread goes to the left. Go into the blue fabric and into the lace. The needle comes straight down. Take out that pin. And then the stitches should also be nice and tight. Go through the blue fabric into the lace. Bring the thread to the left, back into the blue fabric. Oops. I have to tell you, I have the camera around my neck. It's the only way I can get close up. So sometimes my hands are not quite in the normal position they should be for hand sewing. I'm going to do a couple more stitches. I've given you my secret how I get close up. Straight down. Make sure the stitch is nice and snug. Bring the thread to the left. I'll do a couple more and then we're going to take a look at it and see what it looks like. Okay, let's take a look at this and see what the lace looks like on the camisole. Here it is. The lace attached to the blue camisole at the bottom. You can see where it's attached and where it's not attached. So you can see that it was stitched on the other side by putting the good side of the lace to the good side of the fabric. Let me show you up close what it looks like. It's quite nice. Let me see if I can get in closer. And there you have it. Okay, great. See you at the next lesson. Thank you.